Honkai Star Rail just finished its 3.1 live stream and it left everybody with a resounding meh. Honestly, the patch looks pretty mid, if I'm being honest. It's got a combination of things that I am excited about and enjoy, and other things that I honestly could not give less of a crap about because the game has kind of burned me out a little bit on some of their overhyped promises. I want to talk about the things that are very important about this patch update and give you some of my thoughts on them, but if you have not already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm Connor's Thoughts. Let's get into it. So as per usual, they started off the latest 3.1 live stream update with a new trailer for the latest story patch. I am one of those suckers that keeps getting pulled in. I know a lot of the flashy moments revealed in this trailer are probably just going to be a few minutes when packaged into the actual content of the game, and there's going to be an absolute obscene amount of context bluff that's going to be thrown around it, but I can't help but think the animation looks really cool. I know there's a couple false death flags that are going to be included in there that they're not going to follow through on because they have yet to actually do so, but I still am excited about the story, almost like an abusive ex you keep going back to. Keep hoping they're gonna change, but are they actually? Probably not. The two characters that are kind of the focal point of this patch are Mayday and Tribby, and I'm gonna be honest, I actually kind of like both of them. Mayday looks like a badass. I love seeing more masculine characters to be added into this game. I'm tired of the femboy bullcrap like Misha being added in. Give me more cool masculine characters, and Mayday's kind of hitting that for me. And on top of that too, I gotta be honest, Tribby looks really cool as well. I originally thought Tribby was gonna be like another Klee situation where it's just kind of like, why is this character here? No one really wants to use this character anymore. Why are we doing these childlike characters? But I think by maximizing more on the cherubim-like aesthetic, and I think leaning more into the cutesiness of the character with her animations, it kind of makes her stand out a little bit more in a way that I'm actually okay with. As far as their kits are concerned, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Tribby's honestly is pretty great looking. She's a quantum harmony unit. Her animations look fantastic with the use of her rocket. Her rocket opens a dimension, increases damage taken to the enemies, and she's also got a follow-up attack built into her kit as well. It seems like another cracked harmony unit where we're going to be getting some increased damage and some strong follow-up damage herself. Harmony continues to dominate as one of the most useful paths in the entire game of Honkai Star Rail. Tribby seems like she's going to be a great combo with the Herta and Fei Xiao, but of course, we will wait and see until the actual patch launches. Mayday's kit on the other side, I feel so mixed about this because, let's be real, his animations look really cool. I love the lion imagery that's brought into it, these red shards that explode out during his attacks, and his ultimate animation where he sits on the throne with his crushing fist looks absolutely sick. But the rest of his kit is kind of what we've already seen before. If I'm being honest, based on what was described in the kit, it just seems like a direct blade power creep, a character whose abilities and damage increases as their HP is reduced. Mayday has an absolute crap ton of HP, going to really help with his ability to stay alive and to maximize his damage from his passive. But he just seems like direct blade power creep. None of his abilities offered any other kind of unique effect other than just big damage. This leaves me with kind of more of a concern about what are they going to do with Blade himself. They've been previously talking about wanting to buff the 1.0 characters, but it seems like it's literally just the same characters. So how are they going to make Blade continue to feel unique when there's literally just always a better Blade? Almost exactly. I don't know. That's my biggest concern about that. But again, he looks cool. I do think it's crazy how much of lore drops that they were dropping into the live stream itself, talking about Mayday's past. And again, it kind of raised more red flags for me of, oh, are we just going to skip over a bunch of this in the game now because we talked about some of these things in the live stream? How are they actually going to unfold some of this story? Mayday's backstory does sound really cool, and I like the overall character direction for him in terms of his background, but what's the execution gonna look like? And again, that's where I'm setting my expectations very low, if I'm being honest. So that's kind of it for the main story quest and for the characters, but of course there's a couple other things to be included as well, like the Divergent Universe. Divergent Universe is getting another update, as kind of per usual for Honkai Star Rail since its inception. It is nice to see them continue to add improvements to it and try and shake things up. The first change coming into it is the inclusion of day and night cycles, where depending on if you are in the day cycle or in the night cycle, it's going to change the overall passives and buffs to your team as you're going through the Divergent Universe. The next thing thing is the Titan paths, which are being included into the game, where you can pick one of the paths to follow going through, and then as you complete your runs to Divergent Universe, you can permanently upgrade those paths to increase your buffs in the future. This feels really similar to when the first simulated universe was dropped, and you could pick your paths to go down through with the simulated universe, but it just seems like they're using the Titans as representations there because it implies more to Amphorius and doesn't seem to affect the overall buffs you're getting as you're going through Divergent Universe, just simply the other buffs that added along with it. Wow, I've said buffs way too many times. It doesn't sound like a real word anymore. Anyway, something that has become expected as of this point is we are getting another free 10 pull being added into this patch, which I am always okay with free pulls being included. They also are adding in multiple mini games, where one of which is going to be this Chimera building event where you get your little pets here, and it basically just looks like a complete rip of Super Auto Pets, if I'm being honest. I haven't played Super Auto Pets personally, but I can just even tell visually that it's going to be the same. Although the difference here between this and Super Auto Pets is it seems it's more like a score attack to a direct boss as opposed to PvP and fighting other Super Auto Pets teams. But whatever, this is Hoyoverse's version. There's also going to be a new Remembrance Light Cone being added to Herta's shop, which that's always nice. Even if the passive isn't amazing, it's nice getting a 5-star level stat stick that we can use on these characters for free. There's also this new Antique Appraisal section that's being added that seems like it's kind of just getting the free primos when you go in and submit rewards for it, so not really much to be added on there as well. To be honest, I've got like little to no expectation when it comes to the events in Honkai Star Rail as of right now. Everything from the 3.0 patch kind of sucked in terms of events, where literally I set a team of the trial characters that it gave me, did auto, and let it do its thing. The one that actually resulted or needed me to do any kind of puzzle solving, I did the entire event in 10 minutes. Like, why? Why even bother wasting my time with that when there's nothing to actually really even do? And the other one, I full autoed like the full clear and getting all the rewards on it. So again, what's the point of this event? So you can burn my phone battery? I don't know. My expectations, again, for low. I would love to be pleasantly surprised. Last couple things in terms of overall content is they're adding new ascension materials for the characters being added into the game, with new bosses coming along with it, along with 2 new orb sets that are going to be added for your characters. If you saw the previous developer radio where they addressed some of the pacing issues and other feedback that they've received about 3.0, they kind of just revisited that towards the end of this patch. They talked about how they're going to be streamlining the story process, making less of the puzzles required when you're going through them, but still keeping some of them to be optional. To be honest, I'm kind of mixed on this. I'm one of the minority here that I actually didn't mind doing the puzzles going through the story, as it kind of broke up the monotony of just running from point A to point B and to get more random exposition. I guess it's not random exposition, but a lot of filler. And so I actually don't want them to completely remove all of the puzzles, and they did in fact show that they are going to be removing some of the puzzles permanently, which I don't know if that's the right direction for doing that. I understand not making every puzzle mandatory in terms of progression, as some of them do take a decent amount of time and probably are better relegated to just getting some additional rewards and doing later if you want to, but to completely remove a bunch of them, I don't think that's the right call. However, they did say that they're going to reduce the overall number of enemies in the open world, which the more I thought about, I'm kind of okay with. I found myself just speed running through it with Acheron anyway, just deleting everything instantaneously. So if they just reduce the number of enemies so people who don't have Acheron can actually get through in a reasonable amount of time, that's fair. Makes sense. But to be honest, I'm still kind of disappointed that there was no new details about the buffing the 1.0 units and what their plans are for doing that, or what they plan on introducing with the buffs. Is it just going to be stat increases? Is there going to be some kind of ascension process or equipment that's going to change their kits and how we understand the characters? There's pretty much nothing that was introduced as of this point, which is a little bit too bad. I would have liked at least some kind of idea of the roadmap for those improvements. Combining everything together, like I said, leaves me feeling meh. The patch just feels kind of mid. The characters look pretty cool, but My Day just seems like Blade 2.0, and not much of a 2.0, just a different color scheme and animations. Triby looks cool and like a great support, and as much as I have been burned by it, I am still interested to see what happens with the story. This leaves me feeling at about a 5.5 out of 10 for this patch. I'm hoping they can really change some of those pacing issues with this one, that I can enjoy the story more, and that there's more news to come, hopefully in 3.2. But let me know what you guys think about the latest Honkai Star Rail patch in the comments down below. If you have not already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.